When you consider whether or not you're compatible with someone, you can consider the compatibility of your values, goals, interests, and many other things. Besides these, be sure to also look at the compatibility of your attachment styles. Because you can be compatible in all the other ways, but if your attachment styles aren't, chances are high your relationship won't be as satisfying or lasting as you want it to be. We all have an attachment style. It's the way we interact with the people in our life. For example, how we balance closeness and independence. And that then results in a certain quality of our relationships. Our attachment style expresses how secure we feel in relationships, how comfortable we are with emotional intimacy, how we deal with conflict, and which kind of an emotional atmosphere we create in a relationship. As you can tell, this has a huge influence on a romantic relationship. It means that you can be compatible when it comes to your personalities, cultures, values, interests, goals. But if your attachment styles aren't, the relationship will either not last or be unsatisfying because genuine, important emotional needs won't be met. When it comes to attachment style compatibility, the general principle is the more secure someone's attachment style, the more compatible they are with any other attachment style. The most common attachment style is secure attachment, with a prevalence of around 58%, followed by avoidant attachment with a prevalence of around 21%, followed by anxious attachment with a prevalence of around 16%, followed by the least common attachment style, disorganized, or sometimes also called fearful avoidant attachment, with a prevalence of around 5%. To visualize attachment style compatibility, I'd like to give each attachment style a number between 0 and 50 security points that they can bring into a relationship. The way that I'm conceptualizing this is that in a relationship between two people, each person can bring maximum 50 security points to the table. And when they both do, as is the case when two people with a secure attachment style get together, their total attachment style security equals 100 points. People with an anxious or avoidant attachment style bring 25 security points into a relationship, while people with a disorganized or also called fearful avoidant attachment style bring 0 points. This is a very rough conceptualization as attachment security lies on a spectrum, and no two people's attachment styles are exactly alike, even if they fall into the same category. Please also remember that a person's attachment style, and consequently also these points that I'm giving for the attachment security someone brings into a relationship, says nothing about someone's fundamental worth or lovability. It says something about how they feel and behave in relationships, which is something they learned throughout life through the experiences they made primarily in childhood. Also, you can change your attachment style and develop what's called earned secure attachment. I'll come back to that later. So along the lines of how these compatibility and security numbers add up, when two people with a secure attachment style enter a relationship, they have a compatibility or security score of in total 100 points. If someone with avoidant or anxious attachment enters a relationship with someone who has a secure attachment style, their overall relationship security will be at 75 points. If an anxiously or avoidantly attached person enters a relationship with another person who has anxious or avoidant attachment, their security and compatibility score regarding their attachment style is at 50 points. When the anxiously or avoidantly attached enter a relationship with the disorganizedly attached, the score is at a level of 25. If someone with disorganized attachment enters a relationship with a securely attached person, their relationship security is at 50. If two people with disorganized attachment get together, their relationship security and compatibility in regards to their attachment style is at a level of 0. Two people with a secure attachment style will most likely have a stable and satisfying relationship in which they support each other emotionally, balance autonomy and connection, and resolve conflict effectively. When one person with anxious attachment and one person with avoidant attachment get together, this is also called the anxious avoidant trap. They will struggle with unfulfilled needs for autonomy and connection, and their conflicts will probably consist of intense emotional displays from the anxiously attached person and withdrawal from the avoidant. When two anxious partners get together, they'll both struggle for needing lots of reassurance and validation and feeling insecure about the other's love. When two avoidants get together, there'll probably be a lack of communication and growing emotional and perhaps also physical distance. And relationships between two people with disorganized attachment are often short-lived, with an extremely intense push and pull dynamic. The other attachment style combinations, which I haven't mentioned, are a mix of the different dynamics that I've explained, depending on who brings what into the relationship. So in summary, the more attachment security that's brought into a relationship, and it doesn't have to come in equal amounts from each partner, the more you're compatible in your attachment styles. Without attachment security, partners will end up feeling smothered, controlled, manipulated, or overwhelmed, or neglected and abandoned, and almost always tense, anxious, and deprived. That's why it's so important to consider attachment style compatibility. Otherwise, people end up saying things like, "He's such a kind man, and we're so compatible, but now he's not responding to my texts. We hit it off right from the start, but now she's dissatisfied most of the time and criticizes me, and it's like I can't ever get it right anymore. We have a lot in common, but I'm not sure I can trust them. Our growing closeness frightened me, so I broke it off before they could." It's not a given that everyone wants emotional closeness in a relationship or healthy interdependence. That's a balance between dependence and independence in a relationship. If you enter a new relationship assuming that's what everyone wants, you might be disappointed later when you find out that your date doesn't want the same level of emotional closeness and or interdependence that you're interested in. And that doesn't mean you might not share other likes, values, and interests. These forms of compatibility are not a guarantee for attachment style compatibility. In fact, any relationship also harbors differences. And the more your attachment is secure, the less threatened you'll be by these differences, and the better you'll be able to cooperate and compromise. Here are some questions you can ask yourself and or discuss with your partner or potential partner to check for your attachment style compatibility. Are we willing and able to commit to each other? Be emotionally connected? Give each other space? Create an emotional atmosphere of mutual respect and appreciation? Comfort each other? Resolve conflict, cooperate, and compromise where necessary? Trust one another? Talk about and fulfill each other's needs? Work on any of these areas that aren't where they need to be? And with this last question, I'm coming to an important fact about attachment style compatibility, and that is you can increase it more and more by working on it. The more each partner self-reflects and develops secure attachment, the more each partner can also experience what secure attachment feels like, which then again feeds back into each person's secure attachment. Attachment styles aren't fixed. They can change throughout life. This can happen through experiences in relationships. The attachment style of your partner does rub off on most people over time. But it can also happen through self-reflection and working on yourself, either alone or supported by self-help or a therapist. So if you notice that you and your partners or potential partners' attachment styles aren't as compatible as you would like them to be, that doesn't immediately have to equal you need to break up. The next questions to ask are, how big is the gap? What work is necessary to close it? Does that require both partners? If yes, are we both committed to ongoing personal and relational growth? Are we both committed to continually improving our attachment style compatibility? That's all I want to say about that for now. As always, I hope this was helpful and wish you all the best for wherever you are right now on this journey. Till next time, take care. And remember to consider attachment style compatibility and to continually invest into increasing it.